What's happening, friends? Welcome to Unlocked. It is the 303rd episode. That's a palindrome, Marty Sleva, of the world's #1 Xbox show. Coming up this week, Playdead and the Playdead-related universe in the news for the second week in a row, and then we probably won't hear from them for like 4 years. That tends to be, and then they'll just drop one or both of these studios will drop like a 10 out of 10 game on us.
Wonderful.
Square Enix with a new game announcement, so kind of a mystery there. We'll talk a little bit about that. A fan-made Halo game just got the green light to keep going from 343 Industries, which is fantastic. We'll talk more about that as well. Plus, some new games added to the Xbox Game Pass. I'm Ryan McCaffrey. This is Destin Legary.
Hey.
You know Marty Sleva
Hi.
because he's on everything we do. And you definitely know and love the great Mark Medina.
It's too much. I've always wanted to be on a palindrome episode, though. I did.
Bucket list item.
You've done it.
Which?
It only happens twice a year. That's not true. It happens once every 10 weeks.
Exactly. Yeah, they're semi-regular. So, all right. 4th of July happened. We're back on our regular schedule. I was not expecting we would be doing a show today.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, though, we've got some good topics to talk about.
Finally.
Yep.
Did you guys play anything or just drink yourselves into a firework-induced stupor for the 4 days?
I was very sick.
Were you really?
Oh.
Yeah, I was
that
at
sucks.
Guardian Con, and then I was in Seattle doing
Got
the
the-
IGN
got the
first
con flu?
stuff. And then I came back, and it was just like, go to bed.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
It's tough.
I played an insane amount of games, but they weren't Xbox games. I finished Persona 5.
Yep.
Put 95 hours into it, which is, I think,
That's
the
a
most
lot.
I've put into a game in a
Jeez.
very long time. And then I
Who'd you
started here.
smooch?
Who does smooch? On's best girl. It's Anne, but they say on. I don't know why. It doesn't matter.
Mark, what was your 4th?
I'm working on a Fallout 4 feature right now, so then it's made me want to play Fallout 4 again.
Yeah.
So I played that all weekend. I'm also catching up on Fear the Walking Dead. It's a
Why?
good show.
You like it?
It's actually kind of good. I like it.
Got a quick question. Why?
How is Fallout 4 held up in your opinion? Because that game's
I mean,
been out.
it's only 2 years old. I'm playing on PC, so
A year and a
it's,
half.
Like,
Yeah.
super good. It's super fun.
Good. I'm glad it holds
I didn't
up.
do all the endings. I never did the most complicated ending.
When I played it for like coverage back in the day, I just went straight to the end, which is how you're not supposed to play Bethesda games. So now I'm like, main quest, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Seeing all these places I've never seen before. Even
This
though
Preston Garvey character needs help.
it's like, help me, and I'm like, no,
I will say, but
your son needs to be saved. I'm like, no, thanks.
The one mod you install is the kill Preston Garvey mod.
Bethesda has gotten better though, because like, I mean, Oblivion is the one that's nearest and dearest to my heart, even
Okay.
though it's not necessarily the mechanically best of the games.
Sure.
I just love that world so much.
It was so impressive when it came out that early.
It was so next gen,
Yeah.
and it was just like mind blowing at the time. But the main quest was probably I won't call it worst, I'll call it the least good
Right.
part of that game. Where the first time I played it for the review, you know, I was playing it normally, like do a little of this, little main quest, some of this side stuff, this and that, but then it would get so annoying where the Oblivion, the portals would open up just randomly as you're trying to walk around and just do something else. You're like, God, no. So the second time I played it, which was on a retail copy for real at home, well, not for real, but on my own account, I mainlined the main quest so that the portals wouldn't open anymore. And then I had such a good
do
time with
everyone.
the rest of the
Band-Aid
guild
off.
quests. Yeah, it was so Bethesda's come a long way in making their main quests a lot better than
Well, and they let you finish the main quest and then just do whatever you want after.
Yeah.
Which
Remember
was
they
like a DLC for Fallout 3, but now it's like a staple.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, remember
Once
in
you-
Fallout
They made the
3,
mistake.
the game
They're like, the
ended.
game's over. And you're
Everybody was
no.
like, "What?
That's not how this
What?
is supposed to work.
What are you
I
talking
had so much
about?"
left to do.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it this week. I want to start. I teased at the top. Playdead is in the news for the second week in a row. Although it's not sort of tech. I mean, it's Playdead related, but it's Dino Patti, one of the co-founders, one of the two co-founders of Playdead, who we talked last week, has since he left after Inside, kind of a bitter falling out. And they're working on Somerville now, which we were gushing over.
Which
teaser
I think
trailer
I've watched
last
the
week.
trailer 3 more times since last week.
It's a really
It's so
good
short.
tone
so, like,
piece.
I'm like trying to see if I can find things.
Yeah,
I didn't find anything.
it's they don't want
Mark
you.
found
Sorry, guys.
everything.
A lot of
But
lasers.
yeah, Dino Patti talked to, I believe it was Eurogamer, about why he left the studio, and he said there was some kind of fallout, it is kind of delicate. It's also combined with other personal reasons. And then he noted that he still loves Playdead and the people at the studio, noting that he's on speaking terms with, quote, 98% of the people there. Did any of you guys have the same thought I did about that?
Oh, so there's one person you're not on speaking terms with?
One person. It's a small studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
98
Oh, it's a studio of 50 people.
Yeah, that's what I was like. So there's 50 people there.
Yeah, I think his
There's
math
one
was
guy.
wrong. I don't even think there's 50 people. in the
There's not.
studio.
Oh, that's to my knowledge. So yeah, he's just talking about Arndt Jensen, his fellow co-founder, who they had the bitter falling out with.
Yep.
I mean, it's good to hear that he is cool with
Maybe
everybody
it's like
else.
one of the janitors that work there.
Yeah, he left because of the
guy-
janitor.
It's like,
Just always put my trash.
he's like, I love
place
everyone there
every
except for
night.
that one guy.
And
Said put it to the left of my desk. He just loses it.
Dino went on to add that, quote, it was just time to do something else. I found a way to do it in a way where I could do whatever I wanted afterwards. Oh, we should all be so lucky.
Yeah, I mean, this obviously sucks. Like the drama behind here, like ultimately isn't any of our business, but it is kind of sad to hear that happen. That being said, the one good thing that could come from this is that instead of getting one incredible game, maybe we'll get two.
Exactly.
Which is like how I felt after sort of Irrational laid off so many people, where it's like, man, it really sucks that these people have to find new jobs and that we're not going to get another proper BioShock game from this team. But if their seeds are spread to 20 different projects, then that's awesome.
And on that exact family line, that happened with Looking Glass,
Yeah,
too. One of
exactly.
the most revered gaming studios. I refer to them, I actually think of Looking Glass as people are going to probably scoff at me for this. I think Looking Glass is like the Beatles of the games industry, where they made... See, there's the scoff. They made some of
You've heard
the
of the Beatles,
greatest and most influential stuff.
What are
Yeah.
the Beatles?
But their peak was for a pretty short amount of
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
and then it all
Yeah.
ended. But they all scattered and did. You know, we got I guess maybe Deus Ex is like McCartney and Wings,
Yeah.
or maybe one of Lennon's solo
Yeah, yeah,
work. I'm
okay.
not sure
Yeah.
quite. Maybe Ken Levine's more the
Yeah,
Wings
yeah.
in that situation. I'm not quite sure. I'm losing the plot here, guys. Help me, help me. Because you hit it right on the head, Marty. Playdead already teased just one piece of concept art last year from their next project, which looks like Playdead's Outside. Had that
Just the guy in the
character.
parachute,
Yeah.
spaceman.
Yeah, and now we talked last week all about the teaser for Somerville, which definitely had some inside-y kind of vibes, at least from sort of the mystery and very much the art style. So, yeah, if we end up getting 2 Inside Caliber games,
yeah.
that sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think, like you said, I sort of agree that we had a lot of news within like 10 days, and both of them are probably going to ghost for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
I know when I announced, when we announced IGN First, which is Destiny 2 this month, by the way.
Yeah.
Destin, you mentioned earlier in passing, you were up at Bungie
Yeah.
for a couple days, got a whole bunch of cool stuff. The content has begun.
Working over the break with CJ to get the next one actually done.
Yeah.
We got the farm wrapped. That's out today.
Yeah, the new social space. Go look at that on our
So
YouTube
you
or
can
on
see
IGN.
that on YouTube and IGN. And then by the time this airs, the Vision piece might be out. You can see the full calendar of releases at go.ign.com/Destiny2, and all those will release at 9 a.m.
You're a bold man
Pacific.
publishing a calendar, because I never publish calendars in case something goes wrong.
Well, I'm
Then
just
no one
like
can hold
You're
you
holding
to
it.
it.
Yeah.
holding myself accountable.
Yeah.
I like it.
But yeah, so somebody's Twitter reply to me was like, "Oh, I hope next month is Somerville." I'm like, nah,
It's not a video game yet.
it's
Yeah.
it's
Do a
also
rewind theater, that 2-second trailer.
it'll probably be
I'm on it, boys.
3-hour
Next
game.
month is Anthem. No.
Not yet. We'll try to get there. Marty, help me with this.
Yeah.
Square Enix announced a new game today, and it's called. We have the name Antique Carnival. We got a teaser trailer.
Yeah, which I was watching, and I was hoping that we'd see gameplay. We didn't.
Did not. So I don't know what this is.
Yeah, I get the feeling that it's
It's an interesting premise.
oh no, totally, and I get the feeling that this is going to be presumably a JRPG and sort of the don't think Final Fantasy, think more of like I Am
I am
Setsuna.
Setsuna, yeah.
Yeah.
Or the Lost Sphere, which is the follow-up.
Which means
that-
it'll actually come out.
which means it'll actually come out. Yeah.
In less than a decade.
The art was interesting though. It seemed that it's by the name Antique Carnival. They showed a bunch of stuff with like dolls and it was sort of like a weird mystery shoppo things. yeah, I mean, I don't know. Anytime Square Enix is attached to anything in the realm of an RPG, I get super interested in it.
Definitely.
And so, did we even get? Did they list consoles at the end of it? Like what this is coming to?
I-
It just sort of seemed like it was
don't think
everything.
so.
Only the
I am
Xbox
a-
One X.
We assume everything.
First Xbox One X
Yeah.
exclusive.
Yeah.
I Am Setsuna came out for pretty much everything, right?
Uh,
Even Switch.
I don't think
It
it, came
eventually
out for
came to
Xbox. Did it? I think it came
I
to
don't
everything
think so.
but
I know it's definitely on PC, PS4,
Yeah.
and now Switch. Yeah, I guess maybe not.
yeah.
Weird.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Xbox definitely can use some JRPGs, and
Yeah.
we're gonna get some of those with between backwards compatibility and original
Game Pass.
Xbox, yeah, and Game Pass. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm super intrigued to hear more.
Yeah, the story description, which comes from a translation via Gematsu, is strange and cryptic, but it appears to explore the difference between dolls and people and what separates things from living things.
One's
The
a lie.
description goes on to discuss a labyrinth, which traps explorers and a boy visiting the labyrinth and understanding the desires of the dolls captured within it.
That's an
I agree
odd
that-
description.
Yeah, it definitely. The assumption is that it's a JRPG,
Yeah.
based on the studio and based on the description.
Well, anytime people, every time Square releases these like Bravely Default, I Am Setsuna, like
Yeah.
people love them.
Yeah.
It's part of their initiative to make like these classic RPGs, basically saying like, hey, Final Fantasy is what it is now, but people who love those like old school turn based, here are these, and so
Yeah,
I imagine people will love it. And this one looks like it might actually be voice acted, just
Yeah,
based
from
on the
that trailer.
trailer. It seems kind of like
Right.
it will, which I Am Setsuna and Bravely Default
Yeah,
aren't.
I think it's cool that they're kind of keeping that 16-bit RPG spirit alive, even though they're not literally 16-bit games, but
Yeah, I think it's cool that they keep that framework while still sort of advancing stuff with open world games like Final Fantasy 15 and seemingly Kingdom Hearts 3. I really hope this comes to Xbox, and I feel like I really wish more of these Japanese games came to Xbox. When we
Why
talk about
not,
the first half
right?
of the year, like I played Nier and Persona all weekend, and like
Yeah.
I would love for people with an Xbox to be able to play those stuff like Neo.
yeah, I'd like to get. I would love to find out an actual reason why those games, because
Well, isn't it just because like the Xbox doesn't sell well in Japan?
Yeah, but those
But
games
there's a whole-
sell really well in the rest of the world.
Right.
Because Xbox sells fine here and in Europe. Yeah.
I mean, remember Scalebound when it was still in development. Was a first-party Microsoft game
Yeah.
developed out of Japan that
Platinum.
wasn't going to be published in Japan.
Yeah.
So
Which is nuts.
okay.
Yeah.
it can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't actually done with that game.
It wasn't done with that game.
It could have
It
been
can-
done. Yeah.
It could be done.
Yeah.
could have been done.
Yeah, but when you look back to the 360 and you look at the Mistwalker games,
Absolutely.
Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon,
And Tales of Vesperia and Eternal Sonata.
Yep,
and
yep,
some,
yep.
Really, really good stuff.
yeah, and we do get some games like we get the Souls games all come to Xbox and everything.
Yeah.
I know
Not
nothing about
role-playing
this.
games,
Here's my hot
definitely.
take. I don't like the name. That's all I have to say.
Antique Carnival. I like the name. I like the word Carnival.
It's better than.
I like the Carnival.
Hold on. Let's go to. Let's see what our ID at Xbox names are this week. Micro Machines World Series. Okay, that's a license. Goliath. I'll allow it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Area. AEREA.
Nope, I don't like it.
Sounds like a puzzle.
Boy. POI.
Like
Delicious.
fish?
Oi.
Like the fish?
And Crazy Strike
Boy,
Bowling
that's
EX.
boy.
At least you know what you're getting in there.
Yeah.
So,
You know what?
Yeah, Antique Carnival sounds. It sounds like an HBO show, doesn't it?
Well, there was Carnival.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Carnival. Yeah. We never got that third or second season, so there you go. Yeah.
Oh man! All right, this one should make Sean happy in the control booth, and it's good all around because there's a couple reasons we'll talk about here. A fan-made Halo game that's been in the works for a little while has gotten the official green light from 343 Industries that Microsoft is not going to shut this thing down because they could. We've seen
they're like,
we've seen it
why?
happen a million times before. But it's a project called Installation 01, which obviously is a reference to a Halo ring. And it's been given 343's official blessing to continue. And the creator of it, who goes by the handle Church, says, quote, "Through these interactions with 343, we have been ensured that Installation 01 is not under imminent legal threat, provided we remain non-commercial in nature and scope and continue to follow Microsoft's game content usage rules to the letter." It's great to see, though. So it's a Unity engine project, and it's a multiplayer project which, if I've read correctly on it, it's meant to invoke more of a classic sort of Halo 1 to Halo 2 kind of multiplayer vibe, which,
Simpler times.
yeah, sounds great.
Yeah. I didn't
This is good news to hear, especially after like the Rockstar thing a few weeks ago, where they had to
Yeah.
shut down the mod tool.
Yeah.
Like people are very upset about that because yes, it made you be able to be Wolverine in the game and do all these silly things that you shouldn't be able to do, and there's copyright issues there. But it's just a bummer because it also opened up the floodgates for creativity, for creative aspects of the game. And I think Rockstar has had to be like, look, we're gonna get sued by Disney.
Well, it was
Well,
Take
it's
Two.
Take-Two, and they actually allowed it. It's back. OpenIV is
It is.
allowed again.
Rockstar-
I didn't hear that news.
Rockstar
I've been
came-
living under a rock.
Came
So-
back in with the swinging, you know what?
Yeah.
And
The only thing
threw
they
it on
weren't
the
allowed to
table.
do is they're like they said the reason they make OpenIV like the way it is because they were trying to make like a Grand Theft Auto 4 mod for GTA
Yes.
5, like a full
Yeah,
Liberty,
which is now
and
not
which
happening.
that got shut down.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, you can have OpenIV, but it's like it came with a new set of rules.
Yeah.
Basically.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cool. So often we see these like really cool, promising fan projects get shut down. Like Nintendo's notorious about doing it. And so I think it's cool that 343, like, 343 can use the goodwill of the community.
Sure.
Honestly,
Anybody can.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
certainly- yeah. You're,
yeah. And so I think this is just ultimately like this is just a really cool, positive story for
Well,
them.
and here's the way I look at it. If I'm 343 deciding whether or not to allow this, if I'm Bonnie Ross or whomever makes the decision, you go, okay, well, it's a multiplayer thing. It's not like people are going to flee Halo 5 en masse to
Right.
play it. And let them finish, see if they can finish it. And if they can and it's good,
Gobble a
we'll
couple
hire
bucks.
some of those
Yeah,
people.
exactly. Hire some.
So yeah, it's like
Yeah.
you're just basically allowing some potential new talent for your company
Yeah.
to prove themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
It's a tryout.
a similar thing happened with that game Snake Pass that came out a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
It was Sumo Digital, and the lead designer on it was a fan of the Little Big Planet games.
Wow.
And made a bunch of levels and got noticed by Sumo.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
they were like, "Hey, come aboard.
That's cool.
Come work for us." And he's designing their next game. Yeah,
That's so great. Love it. Next up this week, some new games being added to Xbox Game Pass for the month of July. Those games are Resident Evil 6, everyone's favorite Resident Evil.
That's a lie.
That is 100% not a lie. Everyone seriously, no, they don't. Dead Island Definitive Edition, The Flame and the Flood, which I know, Marty, you like. That's a
very
good
cool
game.
game.
Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition, another good one.
Incredible game.
F1 2015, which, don't laugh at it if you like racing games. It is a good racing
From what I
game.
hear, F1 is the same every year. So getting the 2 years old version, you should be good.
And Bard's Gold, which I'm not familiar with,
Yeah,
as well.
Was that like a follow up to Bard's Tale?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so. And then a backwards compatible 360 game, Monaco. What's yours is
That
mine.
game was really good. That game is one of the most interesting couch co-op games. 4-player single screen.
What does that mean? If it's most interesting, what makes it interesting?
It's different than other games because it's a top-down heist game, and each player is a different role. So there's like the demolitions expert and
like
the
it.
scout, and
Yep.
it's the whole game is about like field of vision, and it's also one of those games where it's sort of competitive co-op where you want to screw over your friends, but at the same time you sort of need them to get out.
Yeah.
Which Kane Lynch 2 did a really good job of.
Sort of sounds like the new Reservoir Dogs game,
Yeah, but it's good.
but it's good. Right.
It's good.
I know I cut the review for Reservoir Dogs. It wasn't. We didn't
Well,
love
good
that
stuff.
one as much.
Glad to see the Xbox Game Pass continuing to
Seriously,
add stuff.
yeah.
I love Game Pass, Ran.
Great.
I love it a lot.
Yeah, that's. I'm sure it's like Sony's gonna have to follow suit with
Yeah.
something when they.
You would
have-
think so.
by like next E3. I'll bet. I would be willing to make an In-N-Out lunch bet, as I almost always am
Yeah.
for anything. I'll bet you at PSX they announced
And now it's
something,
like
'cause
sort of
it's-
something
PS Now,
Yeah.
like 2.0.
Totally.
Yeah.
They have to.
but it's
rough.
yeah. So
It
it's
seems like they've sort of tried to do that with a few of their products.
no.
We've also
Not
wanted
quite there.
Nintendo to like. This is what we wanted from Virtual Console since
yes.
the
Right?
Wii.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like, just give us a Netflix thing.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, we've bought enough copies of Super Mario Brothers that we should be able to just give them $15 a month or whatever and be able to have it.
infinite access
Yeah.
to the catalog. But nevertheless, yeah, the point being, yeah, Game Pass, clearly a good idea, clearly working. And it's going to be great to see it grow and evolve. And when Phil talked about how he wants to eventually see it mirror Netflix and become a place for original programming.
Yeah.
So when we get to that point,
Games coming just exclusively
or
to Game
or
Pass.
debuting there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we shall see as time goes on. Destin, I want to let you handle this one because this is just such a great story. You know, we get caught up a lot in
I actually know what I'm talking about for this one.
the
too.
negativity online, and the internet's a bad, terrible place where people are monsters. That's not always the case, and the Destiny community had a big event recently, which you alluded to earlier, and they really did something great.
So Guardian Con happens every year. It's a big Destiny community event, and it happens in Florida. Leading up to that event, however, all the big Destiny streamers kind of get together and they raise money for charity. Their goal was to beat their goal last year, and they did it in an extraordinary way. They raised $1.2 million for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital.
Wonderful.
And that was ahead of the event. I don't know what they're at after the event.
Yeah,
but the fundraising
it did
has
end.
continued since then. Well, this was just the stream event leading up to Guardian
Right.
Con.
Yeah.
So Guardian Con took place this weekend. That's where I've been. That's why I don't know what's going on. And that was right after the Bungie visit. But yeah, just big shout out to everybody involved with that. There were a ton of streamers, the Destiny Community Podcast, Cathalion, Broman. I'm forgetting a ton of names, but just Bife, just tons of people were involved with raising money for this charity. And it's really awesome. And people ask, like, why do you keep coming back to Destiny? Like, isn't that game dead? It's really not. And it has a fantastic community who gets together and does stuff like this for sick kids, basically.
Yeah,
That's
so
wonderful.
cool. So, what is a single game convention like? Because I've covered countless shows like PAX, and I feel like to me the most specific one I've ever done is PSX, which is really cool because it's everyone there is obviously interested in this one thing. Whereas something like PAX, like maybe you're there for board games, maybe you're there for multiplayer games.
So Broman and Cathalion, they were just big streamers right at the time. And one weekend they were just like, hey, let's meet up. And like 100 people showed up at this like Dave & Buster's or something, right? And they're like, well, let's make something bigger. So last year they did a whole fundraising event for St. Jude. It's a really special, meaningful thing to Broman especially. And people showed up. Like, we were there. We did a little panel and everything. Well, this year they've refined it a little more. And, they did this huge fundraising event. And it's just an opportunity for all of us Destiny fans to kind of get together, talk about Destiny, talk about our community experiences, enjoy competitive multiplayer of the game, enjoy speeches from different influencers in the community. Like, Fireteam Chat was there. There was a family panel. They had the kids from St. Jude's come up on stage and just play Destiny or whatever they were into. It's really, really fun. There you can meet all the talent involved with the game, not Bungie's side, but like entertainer side.
Was Bungie there at all?
Bungie was there. Deej and
Excellent.
Cosmo were there, the two community leads right now for the game. And yeah.
Do you think Bungie would ever sort of get involved in this in like an official capacity, like as in, because this is like this is a fan event, like which I didn't know beforand. Like I thought
it's run by the community. They actually last year was called Destiny Con.
Yeah.
And I think they were asked to not use the trademark name just because lawyers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What makes it seem
But-
like it's an official
Right,
Bungie?
that's
Exactly.
created
So Bungie is just like, hey, just so you know, it's not official because people were emailing Bungie and stuff like
Asking
that.
questions. And you're like,
Right, makes
Bungie's
sense.
like, what?
yeah.
Yeah.
Guardian Con's like a super suitable name though, because like all the people there, those are the Guardians.
Yeah.
So like,
The name's great. Next year it's evolving even more. They're holding it in a newer convention. They've been holding it out at the Florida Fairgrounds, and now it's going to be like in a more proper venue.
convention center.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
One guy shows up dressed as Star Lord. It's like it's Guardian Con. What are you? Who are you people?
Like,
I mean,
no,
it's
bro.
cool. There's so few games that sort of have the power to merit an event like this. Like you have Call of Duty XP, you have BlizzCon has sort of become a couple of games, Minecon.
Right.
So it's I don't know. I find this really cool.
Yeah.
The fact that they're using it to raise money for kids, though, is
the
I
best.
think what makes it really special, and it's easier to get behind because of that.
Yeah.
Division Con will be in my basement next week.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Charge parking on your front lawn.
Sorry, Division.
Yeah. No, I'm sort of surprised. Like we always talk about how we're surprised that Microsoft hasn't done their own PSX.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised more games as service games don't do this. Like I am kind of surprised there's not a giant Division thing or like UbiCon or something.
There's a BlizzCon.
Yeah, BlizzCon.
Which
and
has
there's QuakeCon.
heavy WoW influence.
WoW and
Yeah.
and
Quake.
Overwatch. Quake.
Quake has kind of evolved to be about like there's still the Quake BYOC area, right?
Yeah.
And we'll be there this year, I'm
Yeah.
sure. And then there's also other Bethesda games.
Yeah,
there.
so I'm sure this year they're going to show off, Evil Within. They're going to show off Wolfenstein, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
We might have to start Sea of Thieves Con next year.
totally get behind that. Have it on a boat. YachtCon.
Yakon.
I just want to go on a yacht.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah.
Any
Never been.
excuse.
Yeah.
They're at a yacht in Fear the Walking Dead season 2.
Thanks,
Oh my
Mark.
goodness.
Damn it, Mark.
The show I'm watching right now. Just in case anybody didn't watch the intro.
Mark, what can we spend our money on this
Ryan,
week?
you
What's
already
going
read
on?
all these, but I'll read them again.
Well, help me out.
Retail, nothing again.
It's 4th of July.
Yeah.
I'm in the
No-
U.S.
no
Nobody's
games
putting out
coming out.
anything.
Digital Micro Machines World Series for $30.
That game actually looked pretty cool. I want to see if it's any good, but it reminded me of like Calling All Cars. It's sort of like a top-down, like
I adored Micro Machines when I was a
Yeah.
kid. Like I had dozens of them.
yeah. Between this and the Horizon 3 DLC for Hot Wheels, I think this is cool. The 80s are once more here.
We're back. Goliath for $15.
They say that.
That's not.
No, Goliath.
Goliath.
Goliath sounds nice.
How do you say? Area?
Goliath, go.
Yeah,
It's
weird
got to be a puzzle game, right?
$40 area. I don't know.
I think
Or the air, like flying.
no, I believe it's this. I believe this is a sort of we were talking earlier, kind of a 16-bit inspired type role-playing game. Not
Oh,
the art's not 16-bit, but that sort
Yeah.
of gameplay.
Gotcha. Poi? $20.
Fish.
Can't help you on that one.
Bill Fish.
Yeah.
Crazy Strike Bowling EX for $13.
That's about bowling.
Probably.
That sounds kind of fun. Like maybe it's a crazy take on bowling.
Crazy.
Like
What was-
that golf game where like
Yeah.
or the fishing game, Crazy Fishing.
Well, ridiculous.
he
fishing?
just-
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Fishing,
He just
yeah.
reminded me of 100-Foot Robot Golf, which I reviewed.
Uh,
What was the name of that? What was the name of that the free game that we talked about this like a couple of years ago with Mitch? The game that was free every month.
Oh, yeah.
Pool.
They,
Pool
Was it the
FX.
billiards game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
they just kept
like
giving
someone
away.
play it.
Yeah.
Anyone.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Anyone
You guys grow up is one of the games for gold.
That didn't well, like we weren't being immature.
I know Mark's supposed to
I
be
was, like,
doing
I was
the
so
read, but-
confused. I'm like,
He played his hand too early.
Yeah. I tried.
games with gold. So we got Grow Up. That's all of July. Runbow, which is
Not yet.
July 16th to the 15th, or
What?
August 15th.
This next game.
Kane and Lynch 2 Dog Days, first half of July.
Pretty surprised Kane and Lynch is
This game,
on the
no,
list.
the game had some good ideas.
Yes.
I'm
it did.
not saying it's
It
bad.
wasn't an
I'm
amazing
just
game,
like
but it had good ideas.
I feel like I haven't heard Kane and Lynch in 10 years. Like it just seems
It's time to
such a-
dive back in.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Lego
free. Go for it.
Lego
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean, the video game, is the last half of July.
So Johnny Depp.
that was Lego Pirates.
Who's that?
The
Who's that
very-
supposed to be?
Lego
Drunk.
Pirates was
Yeah.
the very first game I ever did anything for in the games industry.
Oh, yeah?
I helped out with the guide.
Is it a
My
good
first day at
game?
one of them. I love the Lego games. Yeah.
So we make, again, I'm going to plug, we make a video for this.
Yes.
So you can see the gameplay. The comments are filled with about how it's kind of a weaker month, but Lego Pirates of the Caribbean's worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
They're
all
all
worth
free.
it. They're free.
None of the,
But
none of the
like,
games are
that's the
bad.
one most people keep talking
Yeah,
about.
that's true.
Yeah.
Not worth clicking the download
Yeah.
button.
Right.
Yeah, I wanted to mention as well on MajorNelson.com, the Xbox Ultimate Game Sale has begun. It's sort of their version of the Steam Summer Sale. Took a look at the list. We'd be here for another half hour to read you all. Like there are dozens upon dozens of games, and some of them are 10% off, 50. Most of them are 50% or more off, and there's some good stuff.
Any
in there.
highlights?
There was pretty much like it seemed like every Assassin's Creed game to date is in there. There's a good mix of big stuff and smaller stuff. So yeah, I would say go to Major Nelson's website, majornelson.com, and take a look at the full list.
When does this episode go up? Today?
Hopefully today.
Okay.
Yeah, the sale runs through July 10th.
Okay, because
So you've
the
got a
Steam
few
summer
days.
sale ends today.
Okay.
So now it's time to transition. over to
Microsoft saying
Microsoft sale.
any money you have left, we'll take it. Great. All right, let's do some trivia before we
I
have to hit the
heard a
road.
rumor that somebody is catching up.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He
Marty,
What
caught
happens
up.
when you go to Guardian Con?
That's okay.
He caught up.
That's
Marty,
what I get.
At
I
8
don't know
points,
this answer.
Oh, I know this answer too.
Destin at 8.
No.
Oh, no.
Alana, who is wrapped up with the Disney show we're doing, she's going to be stuck at 7 for a little bit because, as she warned, she probably won't be able to be on the show for a bit. We've got Mark with 2 points, Shark in the booth with 1, Phil Spencer with a point as well.
Shark in the booth sounds disgusting.
Oh, I also want to thank everybody for the show suggestion, the Mark and
Mark
the
and the
Shark.
Shark
I
and-
love it.
Mark and the Shark.
If I ever get
morning
like a radio
down
network.
IGN.
Terrible morning show.
Mark and the Shark.
in the Shark. Welcome back to Mark and the Shark mornings. Let's go to Marty with the weather. Everyone has to have a name of M or SH or Brian
Boing-
with
boing
Mark or
sound
Shark.
Has to ride with Mark and Shark.
Yeah. Bark Legary. He wears a dog mask on the air.
It's kind of weird for a radio show because the
It
dog
doesn't-
mask doesn't come through the audio.
He might be trying to rob a bank later.
Traffic
we're
is
not sure.
rough out there. Today.
You're fired.
That was good.
Hell.
Yeah.
I'm
If you're trying to
Sorry.
get on 101 South on a lark, don't do it, Mark, because there's way too much traffic out there. We could do this.
Also, it's dark.
Yeah, it's getting dark out on the 101, Mark. we go to the Shark
Sorry.
with sports.
I'm sorry, everybody.
I think this could be a real thing.
Could be.
And I think we could probably get a Patreon that makes a ton of money
Yeah.
doing it too.
Now I like what you're saying.
Yeah, Mark's like,
Now
now
I'm
speaking
into
my
it.
language.
Speaking my language, Ryan
yeah.
McCaffrey.
That's quite a lark.
You can talk about anything.
I quit.
We already used that.
Oh, darn it.
Got
Let's do trivia.
yeah. Anyway, that's what we started to do before something horrible happened.
You started it.
I know.
It was wonderful.
I'm not. I will accept blame. I'm just saying. It's just saying it happened. Chris Heyman, whose gamer tag is Furfer, Ferfer.
What does that mean?
Not a clue. But Chris, we love you. He asks this: Gears of War's innovative cover-based mechanics were inspired by what game? Cliff Bleszinski has said this on numerous occasions. I do remember the answer to this one. The question is, do you, gentlemen? Your choices are SOCOM, Kill Switch, Spec Ops: The Line, or Rainbow Six. What is Cliff Bleszinski cited? Marty, you were confident, so I'm going to hold off and not take your answer yet. Mark, I'll go your way.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'll say B, Kill Switch.
Okay. Destin?
I don't know if Rainbow Six came out before Gears of War. I want to say they were pretty close to the same
No,
time.
the original Rainbow Six came out
From
I
1998.
know. Okay, I'm thinking 360
Oh,
era
like
because
Vegas.
that's when
Rainbow
Gears
Six
came
3.
out. Because Gears,
I
or
will.
Gears 1. Yeah. Okay.
I will tell you, Rainbow Six 3 was a big game on the original Xbox.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay.
I know that there were.
Oh, so you're just looking.
It didn't
for-
have cover, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
it
I'll let
did.
you. I'll let
It
your
did.
brain. I'll let your brain do it.
Ah, it did have cover. I remember taking cover on the door. I'll say D. I want to say Kill Switch though. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm gonna lose it. D. Fine. Take your point, Marty.
I will. Mark and I will take our points with Kill Switch.
You will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I remember about Kill Switch.
Yeah.
Is like that was the cover mechanics were pretty much 1-to-1 with Gears.
Yeah.
But Gears took it and made it into a very good video game.
Marty surging ahead for the first time in 2017 because we're now on the back 9 of the year 2017.
So bad.
Marty with 9. Mark up to 3 points.
I'm glad you didn't say Spec Ops. That game came out, I think, after Gears of
After
War
Gears,
3.
yeah. So that is done. If you would like to help us out here and ask a trivia question of the panel, an Xbox trivia question, of course, send that trivia question.
It didn't have cover. Damn it.
No, Rainbow Six
It
3
had
was
lean. It had the lean.
Rainbow Six 3 was a first-person shooter. Rainbow Six
Vegas had cover.
And
Vegas was a
it had the
first-person shooter,
lean,
but
and then
pulled
Vegas.
out.
Yeah.
Vegas
third
was the
person.
one that would let you take cover on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Send your Xbox trivia question, include 4
even
multiple
more.
choice answers. Note the correct one in your email, and email us unlocked@ign.com.
I'm less interested in winning and more interested in Destin being sad.
This is an off episode for me. I didn't know like anything in the first half.
We talked about Destiny. That was like
Destiny.
that's
There
super
we go.
butter. Yeah.
There we go. That was good.
All right.
Got the trivia question wrong.
If you would like to support what we're doing here, as well as get rid of ads on IGN, both articles and videos, you can sign up for IGN Prime, which does exactly what I just said it does, and it is $30 for the year. You can sign up at ign.com/prime. You can find me on Twitter at DMC_Ryan. I don't know what I'm doing this month. It doesn't matter. There is a new Unfiltered with a guest with the designer of one of my top 5 games of all time. Very excited about that. That will be hitting later this month.
Miyamoto.
I wish. I've never met him. He's
Nor
on
have
my
I.
bucket list. Is my
Almost 7
career
years and I still haven't met him.
career bucket list. Yeah. I've my
I met
closest
Reggie.
Miyamoto
On the south
encounter.
there.
Remember when Titanfall 1 just blew up E3 that first time?
Yeah.
I was going into the behind closed doors Titanfall booth. Miyamoto was coming out, so it's just a brush. with
Oh,
me.
there you go.
Mm.
Yeah.
Literal brush with greatness.
One of my favorite stories, I think it was Jose and Zach went and did something with Miyamoto a couple of years ago, and he was talking about how at E3 that year he had a private meeting with Kanye West, and Kanye showed him his game. And I'm like, man, I really want to be a fly on the wall of that room. Miyamoto meeting Kanye.
Wait, Kanye has a game?
He had a game. Like he did.
Showed it to Miyamoto, and he's like,
had to-
"Oh, that was embarrassing."
I don't think the game ever came out, and I think Kanye went insane.
Yeah.
Is he okay?
No, he went on like a
He's okay
20-minute
now,
rant.
though, right?
No, he went on a 20-minute rant at a
Oh.
show in Sacramento against Jay-Z, and then canceled his tour. And then he took a picture with Donald Trump, and then he disappeared.
Is he still running for president?
I would love that.
He said he was going to run in 2020.
President we deserve.
It was just something I was thinking about the other day, and I was like,
We finally need a
Kanye
game
supposed
designer as a president. Sorry,
His game never came out.
sorry. It did come out, and it was called Dishonored 2. I don't know if you ever played
Kanye
that.
was
He
alone.
could
in
run against
Dishonored.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel's game was.
No, Vin Diesel.
Diesel's game was really good.
Vin Diesel can be Kanye's running mate in 2020.
I like that. Yeah. I'm on board for all this.
Wheezy and Diesel 2020. It's gonna happen. Anyway, yeah, that's me, Destin. What are you up to besides all of the IGN first stuff? This
Yeah, it's IGN first on Destiny, and then follow me on Twitter at Destin Legary, and I stream Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 on twitch.tv/the Destin channel if you'd like to join.
I guess it's worth mentioning if you don't necessarily click on IGN every day, we're archiving, we're updating all of the Destiny 2
Yeah,
exclusive coverage.
go.ign.com/Destiny2. I did call out at the beginning of the show, but in case you missed it,
Good.
that is the link.
That is go.ign.com/Destiny2.
That's correct.
Make it your homepage.
/Destiny.
I got 2 hours of sleep last night. I'm doing great.
You look fine. You look great.
I can't, I was really excited about today.
Until you got on the show and you're like, oh no, I'm on camera. Mark?
Twitter, Mark at Mark_Medina. I'm working on just stuff for the Disney show. That it's not that I don't want to talk about it. I don't think we're supposed to, but also I don't know. It's whatever. You'll see it on the show.
Now that you're
Is it DuckTales?
Woo! I can't tell you.
Blink if it's DuckTales. He didn't blink.
Did you
Not
see
DuckTales.
they put out the
Something else.
the intro song, the
the
theme
new
song
show.
for the
Yeah.
new one. Yeah.
I'm all on board with this new DuckTales.
Woo!
I like those ducks.
Yeah.
Good man.
I'm not working on anything DuckTales related, that's for sure.
Marty, take us home.
You can follow me at McBiggity. And then I'm doing a lot of Comic-Con prep right now. And so if you're going to be in San Diego at Comic-Con or just in San Diego in general, we're going to have a fan party meetup thing, which I know a bunch of you came to our E3 one, which was great.
Yeah, it was
It
fun. That was
a lot of
fun.
fans. Actual details on that are being sorted out.
Hey, do you think maybe we could turn down the music inside this time
Yep.
so that
Yeah,
you can
I'll
hear
make sure.
people talk?
That was night 1 of E3. And
More Hot Pockets,
we
less
didn't really
musicians.
have a voice for
Yeah.
the rest of the show.
It worked out that I ended up. People were super nice and literally found me on my way in. So I didn't make it in
Oh,
till the very end. I
Nice.
was outside with people.
Yeah.
And then when I went in, I was like, oh, I'm so glad I was outside the whole time
Yeah.
because I can't hear a thing in here.
it got super crowded, and eventually I was just like, I can't do this. People would come up and they're like, you're like, what? There's
I'm
Hot Pocket
shouting
guys
into
running
your
around.
eardrum.
And so then eventually I just went outside, and apparently there was a giant party going on outside, and I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
So
you'll be on the show next week, but then probably not the following week. Is that correct?
correct.
Feel free
Yeah.
to leave as long as you want.
I'll be at Comic-Con. You have that week to catch up.
I'll be at
All
Comic-Con too.
Destiny question.
Gauntlet is thrown.
I'll be at Comic-Con as well. So I know you dumpster dive to get me as a host.
Oh,
You're gonna have to
come
dumpster
on.
dive even further. You have to get.
Hey, you knew more about what
Oh, dude.
we had on the show this week?
Are
than
you,
I
are you
did.
going to be at Comic-Con?
No, it's just-
No, I'm not going to Comic Con.
So it's just these two.
It's
Yeah.
it's a gourmet menu where there's the same three meals that are preferred. that are my
It's
favorites.
interesting.
And then there's like
And
my
then
other favorites.
when those aren't on
Take
the
your
when those
shovel.
aren't on the menu,
Put it over.
he goes to your nearest drive-through. And he's like, "You guys got any marks?" And they're like, "Yeah, nobody's buying them." And he's
Stop
like, "All right,
it.
I'll take one."
So modest.
But now I'm gonna be gone.
Oh, you modest Mark.
Remember Modest Mouse? It was
I do remember Modest Mouse.
Yeah, that was college radio. I
Yeah.
played them. Yeah,
Shark and the Mark.
Mark and the Shark.
Shark and the Mark.
Shark
Should happen.
and the Mark.
The
That
show,
sounds like
the
a
show is
sex act.
the show is totally over. There's nobody else here. We can
put it
now
in.
reveal all the secrets. Nobody's listening.
put it in.
Yeah, nobody
Art.
made it this far.
And end the show.
But yes, we're out of here. We'll see you next week. Happy gaming, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.